My understanding of Sednan's case, particularly with the MASLOC issue, had to do with the fact that when the trial started, at one point or the other, she asked for permission to go for health or treatment
in 2022
outside the country. And obviously, the court granted her to go. That is why she was able to go out of the country. Because usually, even with very simple cases, I remember the Mama Yarga's case, even they had to take her court and other things. So the court realized that there were reasonable grounds for her to go out of the country to go and seek further treatment. My understanding is also that when she got there, her condition got worsened, and therefore they came back. Her lawyers came back and then gave out evidence to suggest that, look, this lady is out there, but her condition is not improving, and therefore there was a need for her to also come and have a day in court. I think the judge decided to ignore that. The lawyers decided to appeal on those things. And while these appeals were on and had not been concluded, been heard and concluded, the judge has gone further to now sentence her to 10 years imprisonment. I think that, look, for somebody who did not go out of the country, and there's a typical case also, the one with the minority leader. There's the person who also went to India. There was this person who also went to India. And then even at one point, it was a wife who had to do video, communication with the court to show that the husband was even in the theater whilst they were doing those things. And then the Attorney General's Department decided that, look, we're not going to proceed on that issue. So you see that there's some level of resemblance in terms of the situation. But the court has finally said that, look, the lady should go 10 years. I am told that the lawyers of the lady have decided to appeal that case. So it means that there's still an opportunity to deal with that. But Randy, what I find a bit interesting.
So it means that she didn't open her defense.
No, she didn't. She didn't open her defense. And so the court did not have the opportunity to hear her side of the story because of health grounds. And the court went ahead to pass a judgment on it. But Randy, I was just saying that the alacrity with which the Attorney General, and for that matter, the state was interested in dealing with this particular case, I felt that the same issues could have been dealt with other issues. I say this because, look, one of the things we must hold our leaders to, and I believe that that's one of the reasons why the current flag bearer of the NDC has insisted that, look, in as much as when I come into government, given the opportunity, I will pursue former appointees who may have offended the law. I will also ensure that within my own government, I deal with them. And in fact, he was not only saying, but he has evidence. There's evidence of him doing that. The issue of Abu Gapele's case. He had to. Abu Gapele, everybody who knows Abu Gapele and the former president, they were very close friends because they've known each other for many years. But he still went ahead and asked the Attorney General to prosecute his own friend because he felt that there were some infractions that were occasioned as a result of his leadership at the end, JIDA or whatever it was, YE, whatever you call it. So I felt that, look, whilst they were so interested in getting this case done with, and I think that the court processes will go to, because the woman has a right to appeal, there are other cases that the Attorney General should have been interested in. But unfortunately, it appears, depending on the type of color you are, the laws seem not to be working. Typical example, the sector that I have operated on very much, and this was a case I followed very seriously. I wrote a lot of articles on the issue of the scandal at Bost. My colleague, who currently now is in Parliament, we had situations where when even the minister decided to set up a committee to investigate this, while the minister was inaugurating the group and trying to see how they will investigate the details of all the things that had come out, because there were documents suggesting that there was something wrong done at Bost. You had the president come out to indicate that, look, a BNI report came out exonerating the gentleman, when the facts on the ground did not reflect that. You had the issue of Dr. Anya and then the two deputy chiefs of staff who are now, what do you call it, ministers of state. And the scandal that came in it, suddenly we heard that they had referred the thing to, what do you call it, the police, CID. A report came exonerating them, even though they were, what do you call it, tape recordings of the then CID director, who is now the Yoko boss, indicated, telling them that, look, you all belong to the same party, find a way of handling these issues. So somebody who was supposed to be investigating this was advising the complainant on issues like this. So it gives you a very clear indication that this is a government that is not really interested in trying to deal with corruption as it is, but it's just they use the tool that they have, which is the right and the power to prosecute, to go after their political opponents. But of course, for me, I do not, on the basis of that, said now will definitely at one point or the other have an opportunity to demonstrate why she felt that, look, she was not properly treated at the High Court. She was not given a chance to defend herself just like any other person because she needed to have a day in court. But that never happened. But Randy, I just hope and
pray. Could it be that the judge did not believe the medical reports that were brought to the courts by her lawyers? I mean, subsequent to being granted a permission to travel, for which reason she allowed for the trial to continue.
So let's grant it that even that was the case. You see, if you look at the stories that have been made, is it consistently they talk about she has absconded, and that's why there's even a contemplation of repatriation because of the whole mentality that she had absconded. If the judge herself did not believe that she was sick, there was no way she was going to give her the opportunity to go out of the country. Now the people tell you that they bring evidence to you. Yes, maybe you can place judgment on a judgment value on those pieces of evidence that they've brought to you and make a judgment call that, look, I think that I don't believe in this. But I believe that this will then fall within the remit of her lawyers. The lawyers will definitely have to argue that in the appellate court to suggest as to why they felt that she was not properly treated. She was not given the opportunity to defend herself. Because it's so weird that you accuse me, I am not around to defend myself, and the judgment is passed on me. And particularly, I'm not around because you have permitted me to go out of the country to have some treatment. And you think that suddenly I have become so well that I should be back for the treatment, and I'm not there. So on the basis of that, you are sentencing me. But I just think that the state should still equally be interested in other issues, even more scandalous ones. Because if you look at the figures that have been mentioned here, and you compare to figures, today you have people who were involved in serious scandals like the Australian visa scandal. The people are not only did they not prosecute them, but they ended up rewarding them with appointments. You have situations like this. And so when you see that depending on the situation, the attitude of the state to exercise its right of prosecution is different, that is not good for our democracy. And for me, particularly with this issue, I have a funny feeling that it is also an opportunity to divert the attention of Ghanaians from the hardship that people are going through, not because of the fact that the factors that caused that were not things that were known. These were factors that to a very large extent were caused by even the managers of the economy, corruption and other things. And so, Randy, we just hope and pray that her lawyers will have the opportunity to deal with these issues in the appellate court, and then she will have her day properly in court.